Honestly, I'm looking a little dewy. Alright guys, I don't want to get too into it because you guys know once I get to talking, I get to talking. And we all know what you're here for. You saw the title, I wrote the title. Let's not waste time. I don't want to waste time. I know you guys are always like, Gloria, but we love your longer videos. I know, but they literally give me anxiety. So my favorites at the drugstore currently are... I try to do these videos at least every 6 months, guys. The drugstore is always growing. There's always something new because I think the brands at the drugstore know like, hey, if we want to stay relevant, we gotta keep it moving. We gotta keep it going. We gotta keep dropping that new-ish. Some are hits and some are misses. And in here, I have my box of hits. I have the drugstore products that I have noticed, like these are the ones I'm going for. They even beat out the expensive products that I have consistently. If you guys want to check out my old ones, please go ahead and do so. I'll have them linked somewhere around here. So the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, this is something that I have been wanting to talk about, but every time I like want to bring it up in a video or something, I literally lose it because I use it so much. I use it here, I use it at home, I use it when I'm traveling. This is such a good primer. If you guys are looking for a primer that leaves you poreless, but it doesn't give you that dimethicone gross feeling, but again, you just want your skin to look very velvety and less textured, this is the one, guys. And it's e.l.f. It's so affordable. This is the primer that I wanted to use in my full face e.l.f. video, and what happened? I lost it. Couldn't find it. Didn't know where the H was, but it's here now. And we love her. If you guys are interested in buying any of these products, by the way, guys, I'm gonna try my hardest to have them linked on my Amazon page. If you guys want to go ahead and check that out, please go do that. That'd be great. The When Wild Natural Finish Setting Spray. This is a spray that I haven't been using so much to set, but to prime with. I don't want to say that this is beating out my Urban Decay all-nighter. Like, I don't want to say that, but because my skin has been so dry and my skin has been going through such a whirlwind of emotions these past few months, especially with the winter and COVID and wearing masks, my skin has just needed moisture. So as much as I love my Urban Decay all-nighter setting spray, it is a mattifying spray. It does have the tendency to leave me, especially some days, a little more dry than I would like. But this one, on the other hand, it's a natural finish setting spray, so it's a lot more gentle on the skin. I really do like the way that it leaves your skin after you do your makeup and you use it as a setting spray. But as a primer, I feel like it's just tacky enough and has enough hydrating qualities that it doesn't strip your skin, and it feels so good as a primer. Just as a refresher, it's like a Pedialyte for your face after you've gone ham at a quinceañera or a wedding, you know? I don't really feel like I have to clear up that example because if you know, like you know. The L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Setting Powder. This is a powder that I swore I would never buy. This is a powder that I swore I was just gonna stay away from because I felt like there was just no need for me to buy it. Even when I really had oily skin that I was working with, I just felt like this powder, for some reason, I just would look at it and I was like, this powder is gonna leave me cakey. Too matte, too dry, too much of things that I really don't want to deal with. But then I actually bought it and then I actually tried it and I'm so floored at what a pretty powder this is. I use it a lot on my under eyes, which even if it's a mattifying powder, I don't necessarily recommend you guys doing that because you don't want to dry out the skin on your under eyes. But you guys, this tone, which is by the way 100 porcelain, it has a yellow undertone, so it's actually a very brightening powder. And what I like to do is I like to use it on my T-zone because it brightens so much, because it also controls oils, which even though I don't get as oily as I used to, I still get oily and I still need some oil control. I love this powder to set my T-zone with. I love this powder to brighten up my face with. I love the way this powder makes your face look overall, and it's just so ridiculously, like, it's a luxurious powder without the luxurious price. It's L'Oreal, so it's not necessarily the most affordable at the drugstore, but it's pretty affordable. It's not $30, it's not $40, it's not Charlotte Tilbury $50, but it's a really, really, really good powder and I highly recommend it. And if you do have oily skin, I could tell you guys right now, the oil control in this, it goes ham. Since we are on the powder train, the e.l.f. Sheer Tint Finishing Powder. The mirror packaging, I swear it's good in theory, but it just gets so dingy so quickly. I actually really enjoyed this powder. When I did my full face e.l.f., I didn't expect to like this powder as much as I did. It leaves a very velvety finish to your skin. The only thing that I don't like about it is I feel like this shade is a little bit too dark for me, and I got the light medium shade. Maybe I should have gotten like a fair to light so it can brighten up my eyes a little bit more, but overall I really like the way this set. For example, my foundation, before I applied my bronzer, my blush, my highlight, just so I didn't have anything skipping. I really like the way this powder made my skin look just as a whole. Very velvety, almost kind of blurred, more than the Pro Matte Infallible. Like I said, I just wish I had a different shade because I feel like it kind of does mess with the overall tone of my foundation. If I can find a lighter shade that works for me, I'm telling you, like, this one would be golden in my eyes. But for now, I can honestly say, like, this is actually a really great powder. e.l.f. is killing it with this product lately. I just realized that I have like a lot of e.l.f. products in here. Another powder that I really don't want to stay a long time on, I actually don't know if this is discontinued, but so many people have been asking me for a really good bronzer at the drugstore. I'm so picky when it comes to bronzers at the drugstore, but this bronzer from the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour Palette in the shade Caramel Toffee, this is actually a gorgeous bronzer. It's warm, it's light, you can build it up to whichever desired bronzy level of bronziness you want to get to. It blends really easily. I think Wet n Wild is so slept on, and I feel so bad because I used to be that kid that when I first got into makeup, I remember the only brand I wanted to wear was NYX, and I didn't even want to delve into e.l.f. I didn't want to delve into Wet n Wild because in my mind as a young kid, I thought if it's cheap, it's gonna break me out. But I'm so happy I finally gave e.l.f. and Wet n Wild, Essence, all those brands a chance because I have found some of my holy grails in these brands. For example, this guy, I repurchased this palette I think 3 times, and for somebody who has such access to makeup and who reviews so much makeup all the time, that's saying something huge for me to repurchase something solely because I know it works that well. And this is one of those products, just like Wet n Wild blushes. This is the Wet n Wild blush in Nudist Society. I am currently like reorganizing my makeup drawer. I couldn't find Apricot in the Middle, and Apricot in the Middle is by far my favorite Wet n Wild blush and probably like my favorite blush at the drugstore. But Wet n Wild blushes are also another item that I'm like, I don't know how more people aren't more awake to this, aren't talking about it more. Wet n Wild blushes do not get the flowers they deserve, and I'm telling you guys right now, if you guys are in a pinch and you need to find a good blush and you only got a Rite Aid next to you or a Walgreens or a CVS at your disposal, don't look at any other blush other than a Wet n Wild blush. Like, that's how serious I am about these blushes. They're incredibly good, incredibly pigmented, they wear forever, they apply easily, so even if you are a beginner, any level from novice to expert, you will not have trouble with this blush at all. I know there's some blushes out there that are so overwhelming, so pigmented, so chalky, they do not blend out. I've never had a problem with Wet n Wild blushes. If anything, it's the complete opposite. I always fall in love with them and I always go and buy more before they sell out, which again, they never really do because people sleep on Wet n Wild. How sway. This one actually kind of shocked me. The L'Oreal Pro Glow Foundation. This was a product that 2 years ago, you couldn't pay me enough to put this on my face. I didn't see the point in wearing a glowy foundation knowing that I get glowy because I have oily skin, knowing that it would just melt off my face, or at least that's how I felt. I honestly wish that I would have tried this foundation back when I had really oily skin, because now my skin is almost normal to dry. Definitely the older I've gotten, the less oily I've gotten as well. But like I'm saying, I almost wish I would have tried it back then, because even back then I feel like I still would have loved this foundation and I just never gave it a chance. But when I tell you, this has become like my holy grail foundation. I wear this foundation all the time. You see me almost in every video just use this foundation, and it beat out my Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, which was the favorite for a good minute. And then I realized, hey, this is a good dupe for that foundation. If you want to dupe for the Anastasia Luminous Foundation, try this guy. It is the foundation that I'm wearing right now. I have been wearing this foundation for about 4 hours. Yeah, your girl's been twerking. Under these hot lights, nothing is happening. Like I said, I feel so bad that I slept on it for such a long time. Literally, this video should just be titled like products that are slept on. This next one is technically not drugstore, but it's very affordable, guys. It's ColourPop. I think this is the only ColourPop item that I have in this video. I really did want to try and limit it because I don't like giving you guys ColourPop options because you'd have to go to Ulta and it's not necessarily like at your brainy little Walgreens. But again, I feel like nobody's giving these products their flowers and they're so good. These are the Soul Body Face and Body Bronzing Balms. They're from ColourPop or from Soul, whatever you want to call them, but you can find them on the ColourPop website. I guess it's just like a baby website or like a baby brand. And like ColourPop's like their mom and dad movie. These are so good. I feel like I hear nobody talking about them. Like nobody raves about them. And I wear them because of the reason that they're kind of moussey and their formula just makes it so easy to use, to blend out, out. I love wearing these under my foundation because I feel like they give you such a natural bronze and such a natural contour. Like, I know that sounds like so weird, but if you were to go primer, bronzer, and then foundation and really blend it out, guys, it gives you the most natural bronze look. That's exactly what I did today for this makeup look. I used my bronzer on the bottom, then I applied my foundation, which again, it was the L'Oreal Pro Glow. Match made in heaven, guys. They're so beginner friendly. I say this all the time to like my friends and my family. If you guys are gonna get into cream highlighting or cream contouring, go with a moussey product like this at first, because again, it's so much less intimidating than you going in with an actual concealer, a more liquidy formula. That can get messy really quick. Products like this literally hold your hand through the entire process, and they don't get too messy or too overwhelming on you. They literally guide you into a beautiful finish. Again, this is just one of those products that I feel like any novice to expert could use without any trouble. Any brow product from Maybelline, I highly recommend. I recommend this one the most, however. This is the Total Temptation by Maybelline. The reason I recommend this one, it's not necessarily because of the fact that it's more of a wedge liner, and so it has a thicker tip. I recommend it more so because you get your money's worth out of this pencil. The one that resembles the Anastasia Brow Wiz, the skinnier version of this, which I'm not gonna lie, I also own because it's very good. I don't recommend you guys necessarily investing your money in that one solely because you don't get your money's worth. I can maybe get 10 uses out of that brow pencil. And like, yeah, your girl's working with bigger real estate than most people probably are. But I think even then, like, I paid $10 for this brow pencil. I only used it 10 times, $1 per use. Like, that's expensive. And I don't want to have to do the math every single time and like remind myself, you could have just bought this guy, gotten the same exact effect, and like saved some coins. I just highly recommend this one. It's really good, guys. I never hear anybody talk about this, and I'm like, how? I'm not trying to be frugal Freddy over here, even though I am. But if you can't like cut corners and save some money here and there, like, why wouldn't you? This one is definitely like very personal to me. I have my reservations about Maybelline brow products, but this one just has my heart. I highly recommend it. I think you guys definitely need to check it out. It's so good. This is the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. This is the one I'm using on my brows today. This is such a good brow pencil. I think this was the most standout product of the e.l.f. video, period. Again, I rarely hear anybody talk about it, and it's e.l.f. I think at most I paid $5 or $3 for it. I know they have another pencil that's a slightly more expensive, and I've tried it, you guys, and I don't remember much about it, which is saying something. This one is so good though. I feel like the tip could be a little thinner, but at the same time, I kind of like that it's thicker. Again, I have more real estate, I have a bigger brow, but I can understand why people with like thinner brows can have the reservations. But honestly, I think that once you get the hang of it, all you're doing is doing your brows more quickly, and you're just cutting your time doing your makeup in half. This is such a great brow product. I highly recommend it. Like I said, this is probably the product that stunned me the most out of that entire e.l.f. video. It's the one I remember like the most. These Covergirl highlights, I didn't apply a really heavy highlight today because I didn't want to outshine this one, but I want to show you how good these are. And nobody talks about them, and it's weird. So this is the Covergirl Gilded Glory True Blend Super Stunner. Okay, look how pretty this is compared to this side. Like, do you see the shine that it automatically just adds? The way it brightens, the soft yet like really bright highlight. It's one of those highlights that you're like, how are you so bright, but like, how are you so muted and soft at the same time? I have two, and I'm obsessed. Like, these are the highlights that every time I see them at the drugstore, and like their little pods are always so full, I'm like, what are you guys doing? They're soft, they're pigmented, they don't emphasize texture, they're Covergirl, they're so affordable, they're right there. Like, what more do you want? A sign that says take me, drink me, pull my hair? I don't know. What more do you want? Like, ridiculously good. And I'm tired of people sleeping on my babies. The last items I have are lip glosses that people again are sleeping on, and I'm like, how? The first one are the lip lifters from Maybelline. I think I've seen one other person talk about them in their videos. Obviously, like, the packaging was inspired by KKW. Like, I don't want to throw shade at Maybelline, but like, look at them. We can't call it what it is when it obviously is what it is, Maybelline. But if anybody's formula is better, and this is coming from somebody who loves KKW lip glosses, and you still can't say anything about them either, like, at least not in my presence. But the lip lifters from Maybelline give you like the biggest lips ever. They're so good. I don't want to apply this one because I have another one that honestly like is my baby right now, but I love this one. They're so good. They have so many different shades. I personally really like like the clearish pink one, which I think I took that one home. Again, I should have prepared more for this video, but I'll show you pictures, okay? And last but not least, the Shine 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 Wet Look Lip Gloss from Essence. This one is the clear one, believe it or not. That's just how much I've used it. This is in the shade Behind the Scenes. Oh my god. My niece was actually the one that put me onto this one. Honestly, Alondra, she knows what she's doing. So take a look at my lips right now. Cute, I know, but yeah. Did you guys see me mess with a needle at all? No, you didn't. Like, the first time I ever saw my lips like this, I wanted to call BS so bad on myself. That this whole thing was a hoax and just a figment of my imagination. But like, look at my lips. Look how ridiculously huge they look. And I know I have big lips and I know that they're lined. And if you guys want to see, again, a how to make your lips look bigger video, I got you. But best believe, this is the Juan. This is so good. Ridiculously good. You guys want to know how much these regularly cost? $2. $2 to $4 is like their range depending on where you buy them. But you guys, still, the fact that these aren't 12 bucks, that's so incredible to me. When the Maybelline ones I think are like $8.99 or like $7.99, and there's some lip glosses, again, let's get into the Pixie prices, that are literally like $10.99, and this is not even touching 2 digits. Look at how great they leave your lips. And it's not a sticky formula. It's so shiny. You could see your reflection in my lips right now if you wanted to. Not really, but if you wanted to. They're so good. Honestly, this was like the best recommendation my 15-year-old niece has ever given me, because she always uses this lip gloss and I finally bought it for myself and now I'm obsessed. So thank you, Alondra. Love it so much. Those are all the products I have for you guys. I feel like I've been talking for literally an hour. I am so thirsty and for some reason, like, I'm hot. Like, I feel like if I leave this office right now and somebody looks at me funny, like, we're gonna throw hands. Like, I'm hot. But it's just these products. I really am so excited to finally be able to like really talk about them and like dedicate a video to products that people have just been sleeping on or have just, like me in the past, misjudged them. And I'm so happy like that they're getting their flowers now. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please like and share this video. I want more people knowing about these products, more people raving about them and just like using them. If you guys have your personal favorites that you don't really see a lot of people talk about, please leave them in the comment section down below. That is like my high. I go through your comments and I go to Ulta, Walmart, whatever. I add things to my cart and then I'm either like, you know, pound it, baby girl, I see you, or at the very least, like, I got new makeup to play with. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much and I'll see you in my next one.